Hi. Small language models are making remarkable advances that will reshape AI and industries in 2025. And in this video, I'll show you why small language models are the future of AI and how they will change everything from industries to local companies as well as your own personal devices. From how we work to the tech we carry in our pockets that house small language models, either it be your phone or these Ray-Ban Meta glasses or anything that you can think of that can house a small language model. So here's what's coming up in the video so you understand what we will achieve out of this video. One, we'll simplify what SLMs are, small language models are, and how they compare to the massive AI models that we all know and use, ChatGPT, Gemini 2.0, Copilot, and other things. So you'll hear more about how they are changing and how they relate to these big language models. I'll explain why small language models are game changers with their portability, cost effectiveness, and privacy benefits that you get out of these small language models. You'll also see some real world examples, like one of the things that I recently watched was about the Khan Academy's Khanmigo and how it's transforming education as a whole sector, and it can actually be one of the North Stars for how small languages models work in education. And finally, I'll share a live demo of small language models in my own PC in action, running AI locally on my MacBook here using Ollama platform. To kick things off, let me give you a glimpse into what this means for you. So take these Ray-Ban Meta glasses, smart glasses. They are more than just stylish eyewear. They are packed with AI capabilities, not just making the video. With the power of Meta's AI, these glasses can translate languages, respond to voice prompts, and also record videos in real time. Right now, they connect to a phone because of the AI is too big to fit into these models, but the Llama 3.2 mini version is only 2 gigabytes or 1.4 gigabytes to be honest. But that's changing. Today's small language models are compact enough to run directly on personal devices, and that's the goal with Microsoft's 5.3 running in cars in London and other models that will be useful for you. So imagine AI assistants in your glasses, in your phone, or your data centers. Apple has its own intelligence that they have in certain areas, and we'll see some of those examples in later videos as well. I'm Ragnar Pitla, a solutions architect at Microsoft, and today we'll explore the future of AI that's already there. Those are the small language models. Let's start with what are small language models. I want to simplify this, so picture this. Large language models are like massive libraries containing every topic imaginable. Immersive, but the question here is, do we really need all of that knowledge all the time? A lot of the times, these new models are trying to get to AGI, and that's why they are doing a lot of these advancement. But most of the companies I work for or the leaders I work for, they wanted to do a specific task for them better and efficiently. So in those cases, small language models are most important. So most often, like I said, the companies have specific needs for AI, and that's where SLMs will shine, and I'll share some examples and I'll share more videos as we go. Think of small language models as a personally curated library from the previous examples, right on your phone, on your Mac. Instead of having everything, you get the right things. Let it be, if you're an engineer, you can get a language model for engineering, language model for physics, or if you're a coder, or if you're doing something else as well, whatever drives your passion, you can take a small language model and fine-tune it. They are lightweight, cost-effective, and run right on your device, delivering faster results and with complete privacy. That's the key thing here. No cloud is required, just instant brilliance at your fingertips as you keep typing and trying to ask these questions. So I also came up with one other example. So imagine just like your streaming service like a Spotify. Instead of having millions of songs on the internet and connecting, it takes a lot of heavy data allowances. It typically is a premium subscription involved with it. There are also services like Spotify rely on massive servers, farms to handle all this user demand and scale these operations. But imagine if you have a curated playlist that you can download on your phone, which we already do when we travel and things like that. Small language models should be considered like that. So you get the things that you need, that you are happy with, and that will work for you. And as you move and as you grow, you can add more playlists, more songs, and anything that you need. So just downloading like the videos on your YouTube or Netflix, for offline viewing. This is a simpler analogy for you to understand what are small language models versus what are large language models. You don't need internet, you can do it on device, they're trained for the task you need, they're curated for your needs. So what does that mean? Just like that, you can now use AI assistants like ChatGPT or PC or phone while traveling completely offline. I travel a lot for my work, so a lot of the time when I'm coding or doing something, I have an agent in my own MacBook or my PC that I can use for coding and assistance offline as well. I don't need a connection all the time. So hopefully this simple analogy illustrates the difference between large language models and small models. To understand how to use them, I'll explain more as well in the next sections of our video. So by saying that, let's jump into our next section, why small language models are game changers. And not only the cost effectiveness I've said, but there are other aspects as well, so we'll jump into each one. So let's start with portability and accessibility. Imagine the power of AI right in your pocket or even in your glasses like we mentioned. Small language models are becoming compact and are capable of running offline now, which means they can operate anywhere, anytime without needing constant access to the cloud. Let me paint a picture. You are traveling to a foreign country, standing in the middle of a bustling market, and this happened to me earlier. You pull out your phone or your glasses and fire up a translation app, say, "Hey Meta, what does this menu say?" And it was able to read Spanish when I was in Peru, and it's able to also translate that to me in English as I was listening. So it was directly what I needed at that time was done through cloud. The only thing is at that moment, Ollama is not on the device yet, but soon it's going to come. And we do that already with our phones. So the goal here is when an SLM is powered to do a certain task, it can translate these vendor words in real time. No Wi-Fi is required, no data is required. So SLMs can make these scenarios very practical and seamless. That's where the portability is what I'm saying here. So beyond phones and glasses, we're also looking at a future of other applications like autonomous vehicles or robots or wearables. This means your devices can think for themselves wherever they are on their own and work with the data that it's being captured live within the device, not waiting for a connection to be established with something else. So that's one of the key aspects. That's why it's one of my favorite things to understand how portable can these small languages become. So in the next section, we have tailored for you. So one of the most exciting things about SLMs is how specific they can be. I speak with a lot of leaders and a lot of company owners. So these models are pre-trained and fine-tuned for the specific task that they do. So they can deliver exactly what you need without any unnecessary bloat. A lot of the times, even when I'm coding or developing, we try to do a lot more, but less is more in these aspects because you know what you need, you want that. That's the help that you need, and you need a language model that can help you for that instance. So for example, imagine you're using a fitness tracker with an embedded small language model, or you're using a car, or you have a device in your company that does scanning or something. It can do the scan, it can plan the route and everything based on the data it has. So it just doesn't do automation of every aisle. Based on the inventory stock you have, it can go to the right aisle, it can try the planning or something like that. And also, let's say you're also a software developer trying to learn a new programming language. A lot of the time I try to learn new things all the time. It's just for my passion, but every time I have to Google something if I don't understand the syntax or something, or if I need to debug a code especially, I don't understand what's the question to ask. So this is where AI can come for you. It can suggest to you with improvements, it can debug your code, and also teach concepts tailored to your level of expertise. And when I say that, I'm really clear on this where the Khan Academy is going. So based on your expertise, you can ask the right questions to the right small language model. So, and also these are not distant possibilities anymore. There are a lot of SLMs out there. These things are already doing a lot of work for a lot of companies. A lot of models are being built on this. I'll show one of the examples that was built on 5.3. So they're like having an AI assistant that knows exactly what the customer needs and adapt to their needs. So that's why it's tailored for them. The next section, as I spoke earlier as well, cost effectiveness and efficiency. So these small language models can really shine for businesses and developers. They're incredibly cost effective. Large language models need expensive hardware and massive servers to run them. But small language models are leaner and can develop on much smaller systems. For example, imagine you run a small retail store. Instead of relying on a large, expensive AI setup or trying to understand, set up guardrails, you can fine-tune a small language model overnight nowadays with how fast we can spin them and fine-tune them. You can do this overnight to handle your customer inquiries, what your AI can answer the questions to, and what are the new products. All this can be done within a few minutes or a few hours for you to implement as well as launch it. So this is what's the advancements that are coming to every company and every organization so that you can use these small language models much faster. This means businesses of all sizes can use AI to enhance their operations without breaking the bank in most occasions. Because there is no cost in setting up, there's still cost in setting up, but it's easy for you to fine-tune it for your needs, which is built for you, so you don't have to worry about that. And the other aspect is the privacy. So I'll jump by saying that that's our next topic, which is privacy and security. How often do you think that where your data goes when you use the AI? This is the classic problem and the biggest question a lot of organizations, companies, healthcare industries, a lot of industries are asking us. But also, I'm also interested in sharing that how can we limit that concern, right? So with large language models, your data often travels to the cloud. We are building a lot of security measures. We are building a lot of other measures to so that you can tackle the security risks that we might get. But with small language models, everything can stay stored locally on your device, which also comes with other security things. But in this case, you can understand that it's local to you. You can lock it down. You can figure out your data is not being used by an agent or by a company for some other purposes. So your data stays with you. So let's look at an example of a healthcare as an example. Doctors can use small language models powered on devices to analyze patient records directly on their tablets. This is something very useful, as well as it helps your partner as a doctor, as well as a patient. You have that privilege to understand that, okay, your data is used by a language model to analyze only your data, and it's not being compared or it's not being shared with other agencies or other healthcare companies that are trying to exploit patient data. So this local processing makes small language models ideal for industries like healthcare, but also in finance industry, in law, where security and other things are non-negotiable. So you can jump into places where previously privacy and security were a concern. Small languages can reduce that impact and also help those industries to excel using these small language models for their specific need. And the last one is sustainability. So how much ever we speak about building these AI agents and other things, there is a big environmental impact on running these. There are a lot of companies trying to overcome this by building servers underwater, in Iceland, in Greenland, all the things. But running massive AI models consumes an enormous amount of energy. In fact, training a single large language model can emit as much as carbon as the lifetime emissions of few cars. So small language models, on the other hand, are lightweight and are far more energy efficient. I run some of mine on the Mac Mini, which is way more efficient right now. So I'm very excited to see, and I'll share more videos on how it is going for me. So this is also something, an industry, as you're bigger or smaller, you can think about sustainability can play a big role in carbon footprint and also understanding your usage of AI. By choosing small language models, we are not just innovating, we are also taking steps to build a greener and more eco-friendly future, not just for us, but for our next generations coming up as well. So by looking at all the 5, let's recap. 1, portability. Run anywhere, anytime, even offline. Second one was personalization, tailored to your needs from your personal needs, from fitness to local coding and other things for your own language needs or other things. Cost effectiveness, affordable for your business of any size. Privacy, keeps your data secure and local. And most importantly, sustainable, reduces energy consumption and environmental impact. Because a lot of the times we do not need such big, huge queries, but these AI models sometimes run all of it. But with a small language model, you can reduce what they're doing. So small language models aren't just smaller version of something bigger. They are the future of AI, bringing intelligence directly to wherever it matters the most, to the topic that matters the most, and to the area that is tailored for that device or that person. So let's dive deeper into how these are already being used in our real world scenarios. And I recently saw this amazing example from Khan Academy about new language model that they have worked with OpenAI, which is called Khanmigo. So let's explore some of the most impactful applications that they have done in the education space. So they are not just building this thing, but they're also going to reshape the whole education industry. They're revolutionizing how students will learn, but also how teachers can teach, as well as making students ask these questions and anytime they need, so they have access to a teacher who will guide them and help them at every stage at any time they need. So this is the perfect example. So Khan Academy has done some great things. So this AI powered tutor and teaching assistants embodies the essence of small language models by delivering personalized, effective learning experiences with controls for the school and institutions that they need. So based on your school, based on your region, you can come up with your own syllabus. You can train the model for your own data and other things that you have in your syllabus to work with you and your students. So imagine basically having a world-class teacher available for their students 24/7, guiding them step by step, asking them the right questions, and also adapting to their learning styles for the kids. So each kid has different learning style. They have different questions at different levels. So based on your expertise or the kids' expertise, it can answer them, help them to learn things faster. So that's where I feel like Khanmigo offers an amazing innovation in education space. So I have linked some videos below on learning more about Khanmigo, but there are a few things that I thought I could share on different aspects that I liked. And one of the things is the Socratic learning approach. Khanmigo encourages critical thinking by asking thought-provoking questions instead of spoon-feeding the answers. It's not like your chat GPT. When you ask a question, it will answer right back to you. It helps students uncover the why and how behind every solution, fostering deeper understanding and a stronger problem-solving skills. We are at the early stages, but this is how we understand and can build a playbook on how to learn for the kids and help them. So the next one is guardrails for learning. With carefully designed safeguards, Khanmigo says that they are ensuring that the learning remains interactive and meaningful. Basically, Khanmigo nudges students to explain their reasoning and correct their mistakes and also help their students build confidence and help them to learn something independently and encourage them to have these habits to learn independently. So the next one is the language flexibility. Thanks to the adaptability of small language models, ChatGPT can do a lot more things now, but Khanmigo can work across various languages, making education accessible to students from diverse linguistic backgrounds, or even they can expand this into different countries and different areas to help them. So recently I was watching a video by Hannah Fry. She goes to Nigeria and she speaks about how 1 billion people have started using mobile phones out of nowhere, and suddenly they do not have a quality education system.
There are no public schools here. There's limited access to running water and no rubbish collection. But there is one service you can get.
There's stalls that are selling like brand new smartphones.
Yeah,
Thanks to local residents like Elias and some radical new technology from further afield, more and more people are getting online.
Students there may be able to use these small language models in their phones, powered by tools like Khanmigo, to learn math, science, or coding in their native languages too. But this opens doors to opportunities that were previously beyond reach. You needed internet and other things. Now maybe we can come up with these devices that can work remotely without having a lot of internet connectivity. So they can still have internet to get the right data, but having devices that can run offline could be revolutionary for expanding education as well. This is what makes me more excited, and that's why I made this video about small language models, because this is not a vision anymore. It actually can turn into reality. These personalized learning on every devices, they can bridge educational gaps, empower millions of learners worldwide into languages, coding, and other things. So this actually goes beyond more than convenience, right? It's about democratizing education. Small language models like these, powering like Khanmigo, can demonstrate that learning future is personalized, accessible, and truly transformative on how we have been learning so far. So the next time you hear about a small language model, remember that they aren't just reshaping, or they aren't just some version of a large language model. They're actually reshaping the whole future of how we use AI and what is the best way to use these AI agents. And also, for most of us, let's not even forget about these again. These devices, these with small language models within them, these Ray-Ban Meta glasses, can do a lot of things for us. Now we do not need to take a photo and ask for something. You can point at something, you can watch at something and ask something as well. And also, I love this for their sound as well, where if it has a translation, you could talk to someone in English or Spanish, and then they can translate for you live. There are a lot of things that are happening in Microsoft Teams, Zoom, and other areas as well. But I'm excited to see how this goes and fits into these small devices and our phones, as well as other devices that we might use in future that we didn't even think about. So I'm very excited for those. So by saying that, I also want to share some of the small language models that you can download right now on your Mac. So let's see some of these small language models in action. One of the things I love about these small language models is that, one, they are open source. You don't need expensive cloud servers. You can try them out on your own PC. You can run them locally on your own MacBook or computer. Most of the models will run perfectly fine. I personally use Ollama to test new models right on my Mac. Ollama makes it incredibly easy to explore models like 5.3 and Ollama 3.2, designed for both commercial as well as research use at this moment. These models excel in memory, but memory constrained environments, low latency scenarios, and also they are very good at tasks that are reoccurring. Strong reasoning skills are in these models, like math, logic, coding, and also language context understanding. So let's try a real-world example to showcase some of its capabilities. I'll be using 5.3 model to solve a logic puzzle or something like that. But first thing I want to say is I'll make a video on how to use Ollama here. So let me look at this. Okay, like I said, I use Ollama. So when we look at here, actually if you go to Ollama, you can see there are so many models. So if you go in, there are so many models that are being updated every day. They have done a recent Llama 3, Llama 3.2, that's different things like that. Google Gemma 2 is available. Llama Vision 3.2 is available for you to download and use. So I have my own model, which I can share here. So I have Ragnar GPT. So like I said, I use Ollama and Docker for me. So this runs locally on my own system. So if I turn off my Wi-Fi, so I can go ahead here and I can jump into my model, but I will open through the portal here. So I have a simple question. So let me use the 5.3 model. So if I use the 5.3 model, maybe I can do that here. So I'll minimize that. That's the Docker. So I'll make a video on how to use it directly. So let's post in a simple logic question. A farmer has 17 sheep and all but 9 run away. How many are left, right? So let's just ask the question and see. The phrase all but 9 means it not only gives you the answer, but also it's explaining and giving a reason. Sheep that remain indeed is 9. Okay, that's one of the simplest examples that you can come up with. You can also ask, help me write a calculator app with Python or something, right? So you could use something like that, certainly. So it's going to give you a code for you to run, and you can take this and use it with your VS Code or something. But I would like to say something else that I can use, to be honest. One of my thinking is explain the logic and code for me. So it should be able to understand, and it's going to give you what each one means. So function definitions, it helps you with what the functions are, what is the main calculator loop, what it's using, and you can ask a specific question as well. So this is amazing for anyone who wants to use a local language model when they're traveling or somewhere else. So the model not only can solve the puzzles but also explain the things for you, the reasoning behind it. This showcases its ability to handle strong logic even though it's a small language model. And as I mentioned, so if we go back to Ollama and if you look at Llama 3.2 vision, and to be honest, I will have a different version of, let's look at Llama 3.2. If you look at this 3.2, the 3 billion version, parameter version is only 2 gigabytes, and the 1 billion is around 1.3 gigabytes. So these billion parameters, you don't need big parameters anymore. So each parameters can do certain things for you, and you can run each model at a different rate. So this is amazing to see how small these models are becoming to help you with other things. So as we have seen, the model not only was fast, but also it had low latency. There was no memory constraint for us, so it did everything locally on my device. Okay, so what's even more exciting is how these models like these can be building blocks for generative AI powered features. So let me show you an example of how we can combine text and visuals with a model like Lava 5.3. Basically, this model is built upon 5.3 Mini 4K with strong performance benchmark. So Lava model was trained on 5.3 to run this. So for this example, what we will do is let's go and run this thing not through Docker, but through terminal. So I'll open my terminal and then I'll paste, let's say this one, Ollama run 5.3. So it will run the model for us. So now what I'll do is I'm going to say describe this image for me. So 5.3 was a text-based model, but now what they have done is they have trained this model to understand images as well. So I have pasted just describe the image for me, and let's see what it does. This image features a golden retriever dog with a friendly demeanor and a shiny golden coat. The dog is standing on its hind legs or jumping. So if you can see, this is what the image that we have given. We can also ask various other things as well, but like you can see, this is a clear example of how you can take a model that is trained on text or other language models, but fine-tune it to understand vision models as well. So the model not only described the image, but also understood the context and details of it. This highlights how the multimodal models like Lava 5.3 Mini can integrate visual and textual data seamlessly, making them ideal for applications like accessibility tools, educational aids, or even create design workflows. I use Mermaid and other tools to make my designs, but this is helping us to do more things with these small language models. But it doesn't stop just there too. These models can excel in memory constrained environments and low latency scenarios, meaning they can perform these tasks directly on your device like we have seen, without relying on a large language model. Without connecting to some other server or something like that. So imagine using these models that power AI-driven tutoring systems, analyze diagrams for students, or content creation tools that assist in designing visuals and creating narratives simultaneously within your Notes app or something else. Apple's doing some of this, Microsoft's doing some of this, but if you want to build something for your own needs, you can do that as well. So the possibilities here are really endless, whether you're exploring the cutting edge research or building the next generation AI powered applications. A lot of the coding applications I've seen are just wrapped around a small language model to help you do that. So it's all private and secured. That's one of the key things. But also mostly they are running directly on your device. I've recently done a video on bold.new, which is available on web, but also you can download it from GitHub as an open source, and you can run the application with your own language model that you download. So you can download a small language model and use that. So no cloud dependency, no latency issues, just pure AI power at your fingertips that can make things faster for you. So whether you're building the next futures or next 5.3 model or something like that, let me know. I would really want to understand from you. But also I'll be teaching more of these videos on how to fine-tune a model in my next coming videos that I'm making. So before I send you off to the next one, here are my closing thoughts. Small language models aren't just transforming AI, they are transforming a lot of industries, a lot of lives hopefully, and a lot of innovation that's going to come out of these small language models. They are making cutting-edge technology more efficient, accessible, and personal than ever before. So if you're in education industry, healthcare, finance, or anything, you will have a small language model that's useful for you. And this is not a vision anymore. It's going to turn into reality sooner than we think. So by looking at all these possibilities unfolding right now, like Khanmigo as a personal tutor empowering students worldwide, these smart glasses that are bringing offline AI right through your eyes, and tools that put privacy and sustainability first by delivering and making these remarkable performances on device. This is only going to help with sustainability. These aren't all distant dreams as well. They are today's realities, and we are only scratching the surface in 2024, and I'm excited for 2025 and on what we will do. So small language models demonstrate that AI's impact isn't measured by its size anymore. So rather it's about being smarter, being more focused, and also delivering solutions directly to those who need them the most. So by saying that the future of AI is here and it's exciting, 2025 is going to be more empowering and with full of opportunities. So let's imagine what's next. How will small languages reshape the way we learn, create, and connect? I'm going to look back at this video and understand, okay, I was right, or I need to change my thinking. So I'm excited to learn what this will bring to the table in 2025. So by saying that, what do you guys think? Are small language models the future of AI? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you and also learn from your imaginations and the potential that you see. So don't forget to, if you find the video helpful, please like and subscribe. Give it a thumbs up. It will help me to reach more audience. But together, the goal here is with my channel, we can unlock some new possibilities, learn something new in AI. I'm going to come up with more videos in 2025. That's a promise from my side to make education and other things possible, accessible for a lot more audience. So thank you for joining. Follow me here on LinkedIn as well as subscribe here on YouTube. For the next video, we'll talk more on how to code with AI in 2025. Thank you. Bye.